What defines a great leader?
That's a really great question. And when I think about a leader, right, it's not someone who has this glossy, perfect image of what they saw on Forbes.com or the last TED talk they were trying to jump on. It's a idea of somebody who's willing to walk their walk and talk their talk and demonstrate and provide the tools and the resources so they can get their people, not just where they're at, but above and beyond. Because I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to die one day.
Yeah, right.
I think you will too, right? And so we're not going to get like messages from the grave.
Right.
I don't think Charlie Chaplin's talking to us right now, right? As an example, right?
Right.
Howard Hughes are not talking to us. So we have to have tools that enable other people to carry on in their absence. And I think that's what a great leader does. Oh, I see, Javanka. You're basically asking me, how do I deal with ball busters?
Yeah. I like it.
Well, let's just get straight to it.
Yes.
You're used to running things left, right, and center. Your mind is spinning through ideas people haven't even got. Like, I'm already on step F. You all are mining on B and C, right? So how are you telling me to slow my roll when I've got a 10-year vision planned out and you barely have a 1 month? You haven't even barely like figured out whether you're not have cookies or tacos for lunch. And I'm on it. I mean, reinventing tacos.
Yes.
So what do you do when you're dealing with someone like that, right? Who feels like they've got the answers, has the idea, and yet still someone's saying, I think you smoke too much coke. I think I'm tired of seeing you on the cover of TMZ. I think you shouldn't urinate in public anymore after a drug bender. What like, maybe it's time to come to Jesus, right? Like, have that conversation. How do you deal with that? And really, Javanka, it really depends on the leader. I need to say that, right?
Yeah.
It literally is about how low can you go before you realize, I think it's time to re-examine some things.
Yeah.
And I only work with people who've come to the point where, you know what? I think I'm tired of being disinvited to parties. I think I'm spending my payroll for my employees other than on hookers. I think something has to shift. And I'm giving extreme examples to rattle people off the occasions and think, oh, it's not that bad. Sweetheart, it probably was that bad.
Yeah. 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 And so it's the process of knowing that that's the life that they live. Like, that's literally their life. And healing is not usually accompanied by all those extra things that they do. And so I find it very interesting that that is the level of individuals that you serve, because I tell you, I can only imagine what that conversation is like.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about how we're going to lead your next meeting, and then we're talking about smoke and dope. And I think people just don't get that, right? Because you're thinking, wait, you've got it all together, right? You shouldn't have these kind of vices. But think about it. If you do extraordinary things in your professional capacity,
Yeah.
the pedal doesn't get off of the metal
No.
when the whistle blows. In fact, we're going above and beyond after the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the life that we don't know, but it's the life that you get an opportunity, Denise, to dive into. And if you wouldn't mind, is there a story or a transformation of someone or a client that you've had that you wouldn't mind sharing?
We're going to make a lot of these stuff with fake names because I
Yes.
don't really want to out people for sure. I'm thinking about one particular person. He executive in a government agency, and he was in charge of health and wellness, and he had a little grow up at home. And he was spending money when I say grow up, I'm not talking about tomatoes. He was an amateur, off-label pharmaceutical provider to himself.
Okay.
Yes. And during the day, he was leading teams of thousands of people. And at night, he was consuming his product and strumming for the guitar, and extremely self-loathing on the demise of his to-be fourth marriage.
Oh,
That doesn't make sense, right?
yeah,
You're leading thousands of people, and then you're going at home self-loathing. And so
yeah,
what do, right?
yeah,
We first had to dismantle what his ideas of who he was versus the reality of what he was doing to himself.
yeah,
Because high performing leaders always work overtime to not just amplify the organization, but amplify the image of what they think will receive praise from others.
mm, mm,
It takes questioning whether or not what he was doing was really helpful or harmful. When you're in the middle of like a pity party, you've got all your friends. You got despair. You've
yeah,
got the twins' bitterness and envy. You've got retribution, who's always wanting to take an axe on someone. So you've got like all these gladiators of revenge and warfare around. It kind of doesn't really open the door to have feelings of hope,
yeah,
feelings of forgiveness of compassion. Because
yeah,
when you're revving up high on
yeah,
stress because you didn't deal with those issues, you don't have it in that room. So going back to the example with my pharmaceutical person, we had to really analyze, like, if we continue going this path, what does that look like? You're
yeah,
putting up a really great charade for yourself, but clearly you're not sleeping well. You're
mm,
not having good relationships with your adult children. You're not feeling satisfaction about what you want your life to look like. In fact, I could see you under a bridge in the next 10 years. Do you want to be under a bridge? I don't have many quarters to give out. We're going
yeah,
electronic these days. Not many quarters, okay? And I see people asking for donations via like a GoFundMe. I don't do that either. So you're going to have to figure out a plan that looks different than that. So we
yeah,
had to marry those ideas of what's reality, what do you want to do, and come up with a game plan that worked well for him. There's no such thing as a one size fit all healing stuff,
yeah.
despite what Instagram reels tell you.
And you know what's funny is I was thinking the one size fits all, not in this area, not in many things does it. And it's so interesting that you have this group or this clientele that you work with. I'm gonna now start asking, how did you get started with high performing individuals?
Oh, because I'm a recovering drunk and sex addict. So you
Oh,
kind of you kind of work with your own client base when you know yourself a little better. Like, I know what that looks like.
yeah,
I've woken up in my own vomit. Have you too? When you have the conversations with people, when you're talking about things that you understand,
yeah,
it opens up the door for more understanding. And I just truly believe, for me, in order for me to get well, in order for me to graduate emotionally from my own stunted behaviors, I had to lean into the things that helped me
yeah,
personally. I
yeah,
just ended therapy, threw on my coat, my blazer, and then talked about emotional intelligence,
yes,
right? Or I
yeah,
could be honest and say that my life was really sloppy and messy by my own terrible decisions, by my own unhealed hurts and wounds.
yeah, yeah. And as you mentioned, thank you for sharing such personal information. As you mentioned that, it's interesting because I was just speaking with a group of people, podcasters, how we were informed or realized that it's the experience that we have that develops the person we are, that allows us to actually move forward to help individuals. And so once you, if I could say, got it together, what was that starting point that said, hey, now I want to go and move towards other individuals who I can relate with and help them?
I don't think there was really a moment. I think there was resistance. Because, like with
Ah,
everything in life, right, there's resistance. I
yeah,
resisted having my hair in an afro state. I'm like, it's natural. It's
yeah,
coming out. It's flowing out of me. But
yeah,
why am I resisting nature? It's because I fear judgment. And so for me, what happened was I was doing business coaching. I think I was doing pretty well doing business coaching. And I would work with my coach. And he's like, you know what, Denise, your marketing material seems like a life coaching ad. What's up with this? Oh no, let me re-edit it. Wait, this sounds more like life coaching. No. Let me re-edit this a little bit more. I was creating and growing out what was coming into me. I was sweating the stuff.
Yeah.
And I could not contain it because it was what was it was nurturing me, and I just couldn't help but speak to it, share it, and really dive in deeper. And that happened over a course of a couple of years. It wasn't like a one time I woke up, yeah, I want to be a healing leadership, but that sounds great to me. Like I didn't wake up feeling that way. It was like, oh no, I want to be like one of those other cliche things people like drag on Reddit blogs. Oh, I don't want to do it. But that's what happened for me.
Yeah. And it almost feels like it was divine. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take you through this experience, and then I'm going to stress you out and put you in a space and place that you don't necessarily want to be. And I love that for you because it pushed you into an area not many people touch, healing and leadership. Again, as we mentioned at the beginning, that doesn't often go together at all.
No. And who wants to talk about your resentment? Who wants to talk about the fact that I tell people all the time, I'm a recovering asshole. Here's how. I don't want to portray that as if I had a great time in corporate America and I just decided to be an entrepreneur on a whim. It was because I made a lot of crappy mistakes, but I didn't know why.
Yeah. And when you say you've made a lot of crappy mistakes, could you name a few of those?
Oh yeah, I remember one particular meeting I had when I was in corporate America. I was having an argument with somebody, and I said, "Let's you and me take off our ears and go duke it out in the parking lot." I said that in front of our supervisor. Had no problems with that.
Yeah,
no problems with that. It was unhinged when I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it seemed totally okay. When you are in the midst of dealing with symptoms of unhealed trauma, suspicion, paranoia, aggression, resentment, pity, you think that everybody else thinks that way. And then you go home and watch an episode of Red Table Talk or Young and the Restless. And then you amplify it. And then all your friends say, girl, you know he was wrong with that. And then you go back to work and you start feuding. And then it will just perpetuate and perpetuate and perpetuate. I think we all have a friend that seems like they have a permanent rain cloud affixed over their head.
I believe I do, and I'm sure everyone else watching this does. And as you move through this, and as you continue to grow as a leader yourself, tell me about your vision.
I don't want to sit here and say, Jamanka, like cliche things. I want to inspire and motivate. Like, come on now, that's like a ream that you see on one of those motivational videos or whatever. For me, let's just get to brass tacks. I want to equip you with practical tools that can get you from where you are to where you want to be. That is easy, replicatable, and transmittable to everyone around you. I want you to like ooze out. Yeah. I want the people around me to ooze out healing. I want the people to ooze out peace. I want the people to ooze out waking up and feeling like, hey, I got this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That you don't have to run through and look through 5,000 books or doom scrolling on Instagram, looking for that one right thing to make you feel right. Like you've got the tools right there inside of you. That's my vision. Equipped and empowered leaders who understand themselves and how they want to positively transform the people around them.
And that right there is in a nutshell something that would drive someone to actually focus on that. The way the world has changed and things are so different now. How long have you been in business, may I ask?
Like altogether, I've been an entrepreneur for 13 years, right? And there's a lot of stuff that went down in 13 years. And I'll tell you this, when everyone says the world has changed, technology is ever evolving, right? The way we communicate and relate to people has been like, now I can have like a package sent to me in 2 hours. Like, that's freaking amazing. Like, we have seen so many different things evolving at rapid fire, but we as humans haven't really changed. We want to be connected. We want to feel understood. We want to be appreciated. We want to have a sense of value for not just for ourselves and others. That gets lost when we're driven by fear, greed, and anxieties.
Yeah. And that's, as I think about all of this, I think it just reminds me of therapy and truly digging down and peeling the onion just to be a better person for yourself. But now you're on a scale of a leader being a better person for the people that they lead. And it's still this thought process of the pushback and the common things. What are the common barriers that you see in higher performing individuals?
That's a really good question. The number one thing that comes to my mind is denial. It's not just a river in Africa.
Yeah.
And one of the things I see so many times with high performing leaders is that they have an army of people that cover up their crap. They have an
Yes.
army of people that are constantly gaslighting them because they fear their wrath, their anger, their irrational behavior. And so they're being around the smoke screens and gaslighting. I think about like the analogy of that, like the king has no clothes, right? The king is buck naked, holding a Slim Jim, walking down the street, and he's pretending that he's got like a child. No, you got Slim Jim on your hand, okay? Is somebody gonna tell this dude that he looks crazy? No, because he's paying our bills, and we don't want to rock that boat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
So
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when people are covering up what you do, it makes an individual less aware of what they are doing because no one sees it. But it's such a powerful thing for a leader to actually want to even dive into healing and just doing better and being a better person, not only for themselves, but the people they lead. And as I do not want to take up any more of your time, but I have my most favorite question. What are the greatest joys of what you do?
Oh wow. There's a lot. For me, I love seeing people telling me I wake up after a well night's sleep. I love hearing people say I'm reconnecting better with my people. And I say people, I'm not just talking about their employees, they're about their family members. I love hearing people saying, you know what, I need to redesign my business so I can serve not just my organization, but I can serve myself. Hearing people retool their lives to be more in alignment with their mental, physical, and emotional health is just, I can't explain in words. That gives me a lot of joy because I know I needed that 15 years ago desperately, and I didn't know anybody who could approach it the way that I do.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.